We got cheated very badly, more like 500,000 of money, which I have to borrow to keep on giving to them. I got into financials when COVID happened, so I couldn't service loans. So I ended up getting more loans to cover loans through one of this Chinese guy who was previously from a reputable financial institution. He apparently set up his own, which I wasn't aware that he actually was a money lender. It's something which we as small business owners, especially without much experience in all this corporate world, it's very, very important to find reliable and, don't follow blindly lah. That's one advice I have. Don't follow blindly. Don't be too greedy, too rush. Slow down. One thing, slow down. Because when the moment we try to rush and take things in our hands, that's always the reason why Allah delays certain things. That's what I learned the hard way.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Behind Closed Doors with Faz The Accountant. And today we have a very interesting and wonderful person for you guys to meet, which is actually Madam Farzana Begum from Preboy Shipping Supplies Private Limited. Correct?
Betul.
All right, and this company has been around for over 30 years, guys. So there's a lot of things to hear from Madam Farzana. And let me just welcome her and pass over the mic to you for you to introduce you and your business, Madam.
Assalamualaikum everyone, I'm Farzana Begum. I've been running this business that was started off by my late dad somewhere in the late 90s, I think. And Alhamdulillah, it still exists. We are still supplying, and though we face a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles, but we are still here, inshallah.
Inshallah. So when the company's name is Preboy Shipping Supplies, exactly what does the company do?
Okay, the company initially when my father started, it was called Preboy Marine.
Okay.
So Preboy is actually a Russian word that was given to my late dad by one of his clients previously. So what we do is we started off with supplying groceries, um, any kind of provisions to ships that comes to Singapore to do their refueling and bunkering services. So apart from food items, we also supply their deck items, could be all these kitchen supplies or flags, bed sheets, whatever the vessel need on board while they are sailing. So it has been going on like that, and all this while we have a couple of customers that has been with us for a very long time. Only when I took over somewhere in 2017, we changed a little bit. We decided to go fully halal.
Wow. Okay.
So meaning we do not supply alcohol at all, no non-halal food, which was a very big decision apparently, because initially we expect to lose customers along the way, but I always believe rezeki is tangan Allah. So I just do what I'm very comfortable doing, what me and my brothers are comfortable doing. The rest we leave it to him to decide.
Inshallah. And you mentioned your brother. So is
Yeah.
this a family business?
Yes, this was a family business started by my late dad, like I said, and my late stepmom.
Okay.
And then along the way, my dad passed away in 2004. Was sudden, and well, during those times, there's no succession planning, no proper planning. So my one of my uncles who used to work for my dad took over, run the business. And at that point, because I was just married, my brother was still in the army and everything, so we trusted our uncle to run it for us. Alhamdulillah, things was going on good until somewhere in 2016. Then we came to know that the uncle did not want to continue, wanted to shut it down because he also not feeling very good because some health matter issues and all, which now I know in this industry most of us will have heart problems because of the adrenaline rush. So yeah, then that's when I accidentally stepped in with the support from the other two brothers. One of them is with the CNB, and the other one is also a pilot in PSA. So they told me to give it a shot, and try instead of letting the company just shut down.
When you mentioned just now, it's a very stressful business in that sense. Eh? Is it because of deadlines, or is it dealing with people, or
Okay.
in what area?
For me, it's dealing with people is not that bad.
Okay.
Deadlines are one, definitely, because vessels, they will just call you sometimes 24 hours before. No, we are reaching, we need supply, so you just have to rush through things. But the biggest thing for me is the financial burden,
Okay.
the cash flow. That was where I came in really not prepared,
Okay.
because when I took over this business from my uncle, um, sadly, I mean, in business, actually, you trust no one.
Mm.
So there was a lot of discrepancies going on. So basically, I was continuing this with zero capital.
Ah, I see.
So I was a housewife for a long time.
Mm.
So suddenly, from a housewife who just do small home-based businesses, selling clothes, cakes, and all,
Mm-mm.
and go into this corporate line. So it's a
Huge jump, right?
huge jump, yeah.
Mm.
And at that point in time, I do not really know any business coach or anyone in proper business industry to guide me through.
Mm.
So the initial 6 months to a year was, yeah, it's a bit crazy for me to juggle.
Mm. I can imagine when you said you don't have any capital in that sense,
Oh
because
yes.
I think in your line of business, based on what I know
Mm,
a little bit, you have to finance all your purchases first, right?
correct.
Supply,
And
and then wait for months before you get paid, right?
yes, that's the thing. Initially, there are customers who paid cash, and still not too bad, but still the first initial payment, like the first vessel I got after I took over,
Mm.
because when I wanted to take over, like continue the business, not really take over, I told my uncle, you stay.
Mm.
Me and my brothers will run it, so that you have rest. But at that point, for some reason, he was adamant he didn't want to continue at all the business, just want to shut it down.
Mhm.
So after I got advice from a couple of friends from the marine industry as well, and my brothers and all, we thought, no, just give it a shot. So dengan kuasa Allah, I managed to get one client on my own
Mm.
through contacts. So that first vessel, I still remember when I got that first vessel, it's just a quotation first I got. So I needed help. I've not done this quotation for ages. So when I approached my uncle and said, no, okay, I got somebody who's asking for a quotation. Can you, because we have admin staff in the office and all, said, can they help me? Then he was, okay, you can ask this lady. So when I went to her, she said, oh, your uncle said, check with him first. So it's like I was being pushed around here and then. I was like,
Mm.
so what do I need? So we managed to eventually do it with a bit of help, which I just pushed myself through, and then got my brother also to help me. So we got the quotation and all. And then after I submitted, so my uncle was like, oh, you can try, but people won't give you the job that easily and this and that. So I said, okay, never mind. Alhamdulillah, we managed to get the first job.
Fantastic.
And the value of that one shipment is about at least 10 to 12,000 USD.
Mm.
So now comes the next challenge. How am I going to buy my purchases?
Mm.
So I again went to him. Obviously, roadblock. No, it's not helping. So I eventually, my youngest brother, I think he was not even 20, I guess, at that point. He has savings.
Mm.
So he said, okay, look, I have 10K Sing dollars. Let's go and do it together. So yeah, he came in, helped me. We purchased things and all. Alhamdulillah, we managed to do the order, and because that was a cash vessel,
Mm.
so it's okay. So after my brother went about on
Immediate, lah.
board, got the money, we paid and everything. So that was done, and then subsequently we got more orders. So then we started getting some customers who's been there on credit terms.
Mm.
Then that was tough. That's when the whole challenge started, especially when once I started getting the businesses. So I told my uncle, but at that point he said, oh, you need to let go of this office. I'm returning it back to the landlord, which was HDB at that point. I said, no, can we change the name? Apparently HDB said no. And he refused to let me even continue using that same company name that we've been operating on. So that was in March 2017. I still remember. I consulted some other family members from my dad's side, was given a few advice here and there, which I thought was right. I took. So I started Preboy Shipping Supplies Private Limited. Started, then I cannot operate that under that same premises. So we need to find a place. So all those things, I guess, is what that snowballed, because sales were not that much that we just started, but I have to invest into a factory, into a warehouse, into vehicles, even the vehicle he took back and everything. So I guess that was the first what do you call it, a setback, which I did not take very seriously, thinking that yes, I can still do it.
What that means from the start, from the first few steps in the business, you already had so many
Correct.
challenges.
And given that I was shouted at, still remember, shouted at in the office in front of the staff, when they told me, I'll give you 3 months and you're going to shut down. You can't do it. You're a lady, you have children. How are you going to run this? You got no money. Exact words he told me. And that perhaps also young, I was younger and all, no, that ego and all, I took it as a personal challenge. I pushed myself through.
Fantastic. Wow. Oh, that's really inspiring. Sure. Okay, let's go deeper a bit. Along the way, I mean, we've heard the many challenges from the start, but there must have been one point suddenly when you realize, okay, actually, I think I can do this. Lah.
Yeah.
Ada.
Yes, it came. That was in somewhere by 2018. After we got our warehouse in Tampines, we moved in, managed to get staff, and I think by then I already knew you. So I spoke to you. Then I have my accounts also watch over by you. Because I have no knowledge in accounts. I'm very bad at math. So me doing accounts, it's crazy. Then I managed to employ staff to help me with the accounts and everything. Then we see, okay, we can do it. There's a lot more cash vessels coming, even though we have credit vessels, but we still have a lot more cash vessels. So that's when I thought, okay, we can do it. So for the credit vessels, because of the fact that whatever happened between my uncle and myself, he would not want to provide me with any of the previous company documents, bank statements. So the bank said they couldn't help me. So I have to go to private financing. So that's when I googled and came across one financing company who does invoice financing. And at that point I thought, yes, it's right. Yes, the interest was a bit higher, but no, everybody's telling me, oh, you have no NOA because you're a housewife for many years. You do not have even the past company track records. You don't have the statements to show. So this is your next best option to continue servicing your clients. So I took it. Yes. Then it was going well, managed to pay, everything was going good. Then slowly COVID happens.
I see.
Uh,
Okay.
so then I think that's when my decision of taking invoice financing was wrong,
Okay.
because I wasn't able to service. And then when you delay, the interests go very high. And then because of, I guess, desperation, I say seriously, I feel like it was desperation and trying to prove myself so hard, because I mean during that period, apart from whatever that has happened, more family issues happen, all this calling, screaming, cursing, swearing, all these things really made me feel like no, I have to prove myself no matter what. So I got deeper into that.
Okay. Before we go into that chapter, when you say invoice financing, right? Actually, I must say, I mean, as an accountant, I can see that this is not something which is easily obtainable by most companies. So when you mentioned you tried to get loans, you didn't get, but you managed to get this. How do you even get invoice financing in that sense?
I mean, me one thing, guess the numbers, my sales were there.
Okay.
And Alhamdulillah, with guidance from your side, I managed to have a proper bookkeeping. So when they ask me for documents, they ask me for my numbers, I'm able to produce.
Okay.
So I believe that was a stepping stone for me to get into this invoice financing.
Okay. For those of you who are watching, and if you're wondering what is invoice financing, basically, whenever Madam Farzana raises an invoice, right, she actually sends this invoice out to the customer. The customer will sign it or acknowledge it. This same invoice is given to the bank. the bank will take it and then issue her an immediate payment, say around 90% or 85, 85, depends on
Mm.
the terms. They will straightway give her the amount. They will factor the invoice lah, right? So when the client pays, the client will then pay the bank.
No, for
Oh,
mine it's
for you
not.
to pay you, eh?
Yeah, because
Oh,
what
okay,
happened was mine. One thing, it wasn't a bank. The bank couldn't give me, so
mm,
I have to take from these financial institutions,
okay,
those fintechs.
okay,
So what happened was, for my client, they do not agree to pay to the fintech. They only wants to pay to me. So that's when these fintech companies, by God's grace, I guess, said, okay, fine, we'll do that.
oh,
So the money goes to me and then it will go to them. So they'll give me a bit of a buffer.
I see.
But my one of my big clients, they're quite well known to from 30 days to 45 to 60 days and even 90 days.
Yeah.
So when all those delays happen,
So I think that's the crux of the problem, eh?
yes.
So you're given like, I mean, standard credit terms, and you have to declare to the financier as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 30 days. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why they can advance you first.
Yeah.
But the moment the client drags it, that's where the
Hmm.
biggest problem happens.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So now we understand
So it's
why you
not
see.
one vessel. Sometimes if that month we have three, four vessels, that's on credit terms.
Mhm.
So if we only need one or two to drag,
Yeah, then
and
you
that's it.
snowball.
It was snowball, yeah.
Okay. Now I understand why you say it was a bad decision in that sense. Huh? Oh, interesting. All right. What are the numbers that you, because you mentioned you had some numbers prepared, some financial reports prepared. Can share with us what are the kind of numbers that normally you look at? Is it sales, or is it profit, or is it number of jobs or
Normally, I
value?
always look at the revenue.
Okay.
Uh, the revenue, because from there we'll be able to somehow gauge how much we'll be getting towards the end of it. You see, because obviously we have a lot for our line apart from the whatever the exact cost, our what do you call it, the product cost really varies, because we deal with fresh items, and also sometimes when suddenly there's no stock through our normal suppliers, we literally go to supermarkets and buy.
I see.
So then the margin will
Yeah,
really
yeah.
be different, and also it's quite difficult to gauge that part.
Okay.
The rest, when we also have things like supply boat charges. If the vessel came and then they were delayed elsewhere, so the boat has already left on the way, they will start charging me
Yeah,
still.
yeah. Right.
So all those costs are unexpected costs.
Mhm.
So that's where the adrenaline rush really
Wow.
comes in.
Because there's a lot of things which are not within your control, like, in that sense.
Yes, the weather and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
it's really not within our control.
Wow. Okay. I think now I understand a bit better. Um, at any point in time, like for example, when you were evaluating maybe opportunities that existed, like taking on additional clients, or maybe supplying additional supplies, or a different kind of brand or something, right? Do you actually have to look back at your numbers, whether you have enough cash, or were you profitable enough
That is also another
before you do?
mistake I made. I was in a rush. I
Okay,
really felt that the initial years I was like trying to rush to
secure the job.
secure the job, prove myself, secure the job and prove myself, you see. So sometimes I don't reflect back. I was just like, okay, they need this, by hook or by crook, I'll just get it done for them. How my profit is later, semua macam belakang kira.
Hmm.
But that belakang kira is also a very costly mistake for me.
I
Yeah.
appreciate your honesty, madam, actually, because I think it's something that we can learn from. Yeah lah. Of course, it's easy for me to say, right? To check first before you take action. But sometimes taking action is very important at that point in time,
Yep.
as what you just mentioned, right? Yeah lah. Cuma we do not know eventually is it
Oh,
gonna be okay or not.
yes,
Lah.
correct,
Yeah.
correct, correct. So it's all a lot of risk taking. A lot of
Yeah.
risk
And
taking.
your business, the risk is high lah.
Very high,
Yeah.
yes.
I understand. Maybe since maybe last question about numbers lah. Do you think it's important? I mean, when you look back, or and maybe as a general point of view lah, do you think it's important for business owners like yourself to actually look back at the numbers, maybe on a more frequent basis, or is it enough to actually do it like once a year, see how everything's done, and then then close case?
No, to me, it really depends on how your business growth is already. I mean, maybe those really big, yeah, one size right. But for new businesses below 10 years, definitely frequent looking at it is very important, because we tend to lose track when we are so busy chasing new customers, trying to build ourselves. build the company. So then you don't realize, only when it comes to the time you need to pay, then you realize, how come I don't have enough? Yeah, I thought I made this much sales, this and that, but that's your revenue, your cost
Cost.
that's going underlying, which you don't see,
Yeah.
and later will come as a shock most of the time. So I
Mm.
think checking every now and then is very, very important, or at least have someone very reliable in your office. I mean, having an accountant you outsource is a different thing, but having somebody there to help you look at it,
Yeah.
or in fact, if you can learn it, I always feel that yes,
Yeah.
as business owners, we need to learn everything on the ground, right from the packer's job,
Yeah.
purchaser, everybody's job. You
Yep.
need to know, because if
Okay.
not, one person leave,
Yeah, it'll be another
and
issue.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Actually, I think we should, as business owners, we should actually be in the know, and be able to actually cover lah. Actually,
Yes,
everything, whether you choose to do or not, it's a different method, right?
correct,
And I think yeah lah, that's why you mentioned frequent looking at it will assist us in having a real grasp at what is actually happening, and
true.
then make the right decisions lah. Right? I think, yeah, and especially for your business, as you mentioned, things can change so fast suddenly,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
We
Yeah.
have cases where we've already packed and everything, items are already at the port, ready to go on the supply boat. Captain has to change route. Will come 2 days later. Now our frozen items and everything, how?
Mhm.
There's a cost to bring it back,
Yeah.
to keep in the
Keep. Yeah.
freezer and everything. So all those are accidental costs, which I can't bill them as well.
Oh, you can't.
I can't bill them.
Oh,
Ah,
why? Eh?
it's the way it is, you see.
I see.
So
They
they
ex-
expect you
yeah.
to just, okay, wait, I'm coming, I'm still coming, I'm still taking my goods. But things, these are fresh items, so those are
Yeah.
all these things which I should have buffered all these costs earlier on when I do my planning, so that if this happen, it will not affect me. So those are
Wow.
mistakes I made.
Cool. All right. At this point, I think it would be great if you can go into this part where I ask you about the no good, the bad, or the ugly lah. I call it. So in business, I think all of us go through ups, go through a lot of downs as well. But I think I want to ask you about, was there any moment or moments in time previously that you went through something so difficult or so traumatizing that it haunted you for many years to come? I'm sure for us in business, after like 10 years in business, we surely have went through this kind of stuff lah. If you're comfortable, we can share with us. Importantly, what happened and how you felt lah.
Okay, I personally feel it's very important for me to share this, to firstly create awareness to new business owners, not to fall into this deep hole I went in.
Okay.
So like I said, COVID happened and all, you see. So then when COVID happened, I have to figure out, because a lot of ports are closed, so my stocks are everything. So what I did was, over I think 3 nights, I actually spent time YouTubing and everything, trying to find out how to operate Shopify.
Okay.
So I managed to build my own e-commerce platform.
Wow.
It
Fantastic.
was crazy. I didn't sleep. I built it, and I turned my warehouse into an online grocery store. At that point, everybody cannot go out, right? So I think there's a lot of online growing stores popping up. So we opened this Al Yusuf Mart, we called it.
Yep.
We supply, send to the homes and everything. So that's how I still have to pay staff. I still have to pay rental, right? So I need to get some income. So started doing and all. Then as we move along, got to know some networks from the marine industry. So I even went into crew change, like agency work,
Okay.
which was something new. But thankfully for my friends who are all in this industry, they helped.
Mhm.
Okay, you do this, you do that, and everything. So I managed to do so. At least all these small jobs, I get income to move on.
Can you clarify a little bit what do you mean by crew
Okay,
change?
crew change is normally when the crews are on board, right? They will change every like a month, and then they'll go back to their home country.
Okay.
So during COVID, because I also deal with Pakistani ships,
Okay.
so Pakistani ships, when they want to do a crew change to get their crews down to bring new crews up, is either they go back to their home country, or they have to try their luck, see anywhere else that can take them in.
Mhm.
And holding Pakistani passports, as you know, is very difficult. So in Singapore, there's agencies who does this, who help. So during COVID, they approached me. They said, Farzana, can you help us with this? We tried a few ports, people cannot do it. And at that period, the crews have been on board maybe like 4 5 months already. Some dah nak terjun, no, mental semua dah break already. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I did. I spoke to some friends and this and that, and we approached MPA, and Alhamdulillah, again, by God's grace. I don't know how we did it. Okay? I don't know. I mean, my stories are like that. So by God's grace, I managed to do it. My first experience, and I cleared, I think, berapa belas crew. We managed to get all of them down, change the new crews and all. And it costs a lot, but they're willing to pay because it's very crucial for their crew mental health. So we managed to do that. Then after that, we got the trust. So we changed a few more.
Wow.
And then until
This part I didn't know. No? First time I'm hearing.
yeah, so there's this thing, and they also have this service called cash to master. So some vessels who don't pay credit, they will need to send the US dollars to the ship, to the vessel, to the captain on board, sorry. So that also we do. So they will transfer money to our account, and then we do a
Physical cash.
physical cash. There's a money changer, official money changer, who will give you certain denominations because they want certain denominations. Sometimes they need certain year issued kind of notes.
Wow.
Because certain countries for USD, if it's too old notes, they do not want to take.
I see.
So the masters want no good notes and this and all those are also extra services lah. So alhamdulillah, we managed to do all these kind of small jobs, and that also was going on well until we did one crew change in Jakarta. That was towards the end of after circuit breaker clearing up. Also got cheated by people in Jakarta.
Oh,
They ask for this money, that money, and I'm the person who hates giving under table money because I know if things screw up, there's nothing I can do about it. But that time, this Pakistani ship, they were so desperate. They really wanted just for one crew, And yes, I got cheated. But to me, my integrity is very important. He don't return my money, it's fine. But I paid back the company. So I lost lah again.
Wow. But the person got
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
got back
Yeah,
to
it
your
says
hometown.
he managed to go back to his hometown. That's very important. It's say money pelan-pelan boleh cari lah.
Mashallah. Okay, all right.
So yeah, that was I was saying that's how I moved, and then through all these things, and then I was with SMCCI. SMCCI does help me a lot also, especially during that time. Meet very nice people. So when I did this online grocery store, they I think Berita Harian or something came to know, interviews this and that, and was on TV for some stuff. Somehow Channel News Asia heard about us, came. They said they wanted to do a program on digitalization on companies that do. So yeah, for again, by God's grace, they went through a lot of companies and they shortlisted, selected us. We don't pay a single cent. We had a series so on how we transform these ship supply businesses, because I did digitalize the process, having systems and everything. So things was on the verge of picking up. Suddenly we have investors calling, and somebody from Norway came to meet and all. But just, I mean, it's not meant to be, so things don't work out. And that's when the very bad thing happened. Somebody local, a local company approached me, said, no, or we have a funder who's interested to, fund your company and blah 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 blah. Met a few times, and for this particular company, they were in Shenton Way, big office, drive Maserati and stuff. I have another close contact who's a very seasoned business person and everything. Went to see him to find out more because I was afraid I might make a wrong move, and it looks so genuine. He quoted names of people which I know and everything. So yeah, then we went, and that's when I got the worst hit. That's the worst part for me. We got cheated very badly, more like 500,000 of money, which I have to borrow to keep on giving to them. And
Wait, I thought you said they're supposed to be funding you.
yes, correct. They were supposed to be funding, but initially say, oh, we are consultant. There's this fees you pay as consultant's fee, because I mean during that period, I told you about. No, I got into financials when COVID happened, so I couldn't service loans. So I ended up getting more loans to cover loans through this one of this Chinese guy who was previously from a reputable financial institution.
Okay.
He apparently set up his own, which I wasn't aware that he actually was a money lender. Under the disguise, this is where I want to highlight, be careful with all these financial consultants and everything, because they will register themselves as consultants and all. They say, oh, we'll be able to help you get loans from the bank, we'll assess your statement for you, submit for you, and I tell you this is really a lot of bullshit. So what happened was, I got deeper into debts. So when this guy from that Shenton House office came and approached me, said, "Oh, I know you have all these things. We will be able to help you clear your debts and this and that. You just pay consultancy fee, and within 2 weeks, funds will start coming in. We've seen your business profile, business plan, everything given to them."
Mhm.
So obviously the money never came in. We got tied further and been dragged around, and it lasted 7 8 months. I
Wow.
was in this thing. It was very very traumatizing. Uh, my other business friend, who was actually a partner with me to grow this marine industry together, he also got roped in and got cheated together.
Wow.
So then it really affected the whole family, my husband, my children, everybody. It was a very very difficult time for me, but alhamdulillah, I have friends from the business industry and not business industries always advising me, supporting me. There are people from the business industry, you and me know, supported me financially, trusted me. Some already finished paying, some I'm still slowly paying until now. They advised me a lot on the religious aspect,
Hmm.
a lot of salawat, and one person actually brought me to the mosque.
This podcast has been brought to you by Accounting Superhero, your trusted partner for Zero and SME compliance in Singapore and Malaysia. Switch up to Accounting Superhero today.
That's the first time I attended a proper salawat in a
Masjid Salam.
mosque. And this, I have to say, it changes a lot of things in my life. Things started changing. My eyes are open. I realized that these people are just conmen.
Mm.
I managed to get the courage, made a police report, and later we found out there were like more than 10 of us who've been cheated. He's been bankrupt for 20 years. Nobody knows. He's been cheating so many people. So, with the help, obviously, I have to say, our ministers like Minister Faisal Ibrahim and Mr. Heng Swee Keat, everything, we met them.
Wow.
So our case got taken up by CAD, and now it's what I heard towards the end of it. Hopefully, we will eventually get whatever money left that is for us. They Freddie got him, his children also. I think his passport compound and all the stuff. It's a very traumatizing journey for me from 2022 until 2024.
Wow.
It took me long. I lost my warehouse. I lost my staff. I lost my van. Everything. I almost gave up my business totally, bro. Serious. I One day I got this job because somehow vessels still come to me. So those cash orders, little bit here and there, I can still do, you know. But those big orders I cannot do, especially those credit orders. So one day I got this order again. The customer keep on telling Fazana, what happened? Why you so quiet? No, are you are still operating? Then one of my friend tell me, never say you stop operating. Go and do it. People
Yeah.
can have a lot of ideas about you. They know you're in depth, whatever. So long as you don't go missing. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let me check for you. I told the customer, so I have a competitor. I decided to call my competitor,
Wow.
a Muslim, and I told him, sir, I've got this job, blah, 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 blah. These things have happened to us. I cannot do the job anymore.
Mm.
I'm giving you the business. You do the supply, they will pay to you and everything. Then he suddenly tell me, no, sister, don't do that.
Mm.
You keep your business. We will supply for you.
Oh.
We will do the credit terms for you. Let's meet up and discuss. So meet up, discuss everything on. I told him, should I put your name in my bank account as a joint signatory because so that you know the money coming and take. He said, no, I trust you. Allah is there.
Oh.
I was like, okay, and that was a burden for me because macam phobia when people trust you. Then when you couldn't fulfill back, because I have a few which I'm still struggling to pay back.
Wow. This is a competitor, you
A
said.
competitor.
Wow.
And that time I still didn't realize what I was doing was being tawakal. I didn't realize that portion yet, no?
Yeah.
So
Wow. That's amazing, man. Sister. Oh.
we did. We did.
Thought it
Uh,
was a friend or something.
I don't know. Sorry.
Competitors, eh?
My competitor. So he said, okay, let's do it. So I got him the job. We did. And then the moment the money come in, I pay him immediately. And then obviously there were delays at one point. I panic. So I called I said, sorry, I really cannot afford this kind of delays, Then, but this guy understood. He said, it's okay, we understand, few days, this and that. And Alhamdulillah, that was in 2024, around there, we started. Until now, he's still supplying for me. He's my house source. So now I'm operating virtually. I still have my customer. As bringing customers, he'll pay me my commission. But only thing, because of whatever that was going through, I couldn't take many orders because I'm not sure what's happening in this case with the CAD. Everything, a lot of things are waiting, right? And I have debtors like official those banks and everything. I do not want to anything happen screw up the guy as well. So Alhamdulillah, but I'm surviving. So this guy, he's still supplying for me, and now even my client, the credit terms people, they have been very understanding. I honestly, first for me, I feel that I always believe there's nothing to hide. If I am what you see I am, if you think I'm good, I'm good. I'm bad, I'm bad. So even with my client, I had a meeting with them. I said, look here, this happened to me. I cannot do actually, but this person still wants to do the job. I will assure all my products are as what I have been giving to you guys previously. I'll make sure the quality, everything, but I really cannot afford any payment delays. So there's two of them who actually gave me their direct contact. If there's any delay, you just let us know. We will help you chase. Alhamdulillah, it's been.
So when you shared about this thing that happened, right? I think I can only imagine the weight of this whole experience that you went through. In fact, I think we were in a lot of communication during that time as well.
Yes, yes. Hi, you were one of my strongest support. No, seriously.
But I mean, for me, of course, it's I'm just there to help however I can. But you are the one who actually have to go through this, no? And I think there's so many other people who tried their best to help you as well.
Yes, a lot.
How was their perception of what went through?
I mean, from what I know, those hoopers who I because for me is that whatever happened, I never ever like just keep quiet, don't tell them, keep quiet. People call and go missing. No,
You never ran away, lah.
no, cannot because it's my conscience. I cannot sleep. No, whatever I do, I'm feeding my children and everything. You see, all this jadi darah can.
Yeah.
So I feel that I may lose everything, but I cannot lose the trust people have in me, be it clients, friends, or whoever. Pun. No, whatever I come, I have to be responsible for the actions, even though those people were the one that cheated me. But it's still through me, these people trust me, they lent me the money, right? So it's still my responsibility. How I deal with those guys is my problem. So so far, Alhamdulillah, these people there are some never even ask. But I will go and tell them, no, this is how much again for this. Now some there are months, honestly, even until there are months, 2-3 months I got no job, nothing. The previous me, I would have panicked trying to borrow money from God knows where, trying to move on. But now, after I told you I went for the Selawat, I got to know some ustaz, I rezeki lah, get to meet some nice Habib and everything. I learned a lot about being tawakul. Normally we talk, but we don't really do it. I say tawakul, but then at the end of the besok dah end of the month, how I did that, you will worry, you see. But over the time, that worry started reducing for me. I was like, oh, okay, if I cannot, I mean, like, I have to go into DRS, to be honest. I went into DRS, to the payment scheme, so that no, I can have all this noise away. Because with all these debtors, everything running after me, right, I cannot focus, I cannot work at all. So I went to DRS. So when there are times in 2-3 months, I really got no job, right? First thing I did, I informed DRS people. I said, look here, this thing, they can see my bank statements. If money comes in, it'll go into the company account, right?
Yeah.
So even the bank, I'll be very clear. I said, I don't have this much. Then they say, okay, fine. Then we will, when can you start? I said, estimated this period. So, okay, then we will break down the amount and then you pay back. I said, okay. So Alhamdulillah, honestly, these two, because they are bank official and DRS, it affects is my top priority lah. Whatever little money I quickly push to them, and then balance I will divide about whoever creditors I have. Tolak sana sikit, tolak sini sikit. May not be every month. Sometimes 3-4 bulan sekali, But at the end of the day, I know these are my obligations. My husband knows about it as well. He has helped me a lot. Alhamdulillah, I tell you. I have to say this. If he's not there for me, I would have collapsed, definitely. He never gave up. Some men at the stage I was, he could have said, okay, goodbye. I don't want to get involved being dragged into all these bankruptcies or whatever, all these court case, But Alhamdulillah, he was there all the way. Make sure everything move on. Tak pernah macam marah, see you're so stupid. Alah, so far never, no. Itu yang lagi, when people don't do that to you, kan lagi feel, no. I have to make things work. I have to take responsibility for all my actions. So, yeah.
And how do you think you overcame this? I mean, still in the process.
Yeah, the process,
But how do you manage the overcoming process? Like
I think very important thing is to have friends and family who do not give up on you. I always feel that way. Even as a teenager, also when my parents don't give up on me, boleh jadi orang balik. No matter how bad you were. But that's one. Second thing, at the end of the day, there's no one but Allah. No matter what. Alhamdulillah, for somebody not very strong religion initially, Salat, Zikir, Quran. These three I think is very, very important. Now I understand what people say, oh kalau aku tak baca, aku rasa kosong. Now I know what it feels like. Alamak, I haven't done the routine I have, you see. So with that, I guess Allah slowly make your heart to feel less stress. Tak kejar sangat. Because I realized previously I used to kejar sales, kejar duit. Because of all the commitments I have. But now I realize the more I kejar, I keep on going through the wrong way. There are people at that point, some say, are you sure you're doing this? But somehow I was so blinded by this. I mean, this conman, I have to tell, they're skillful. They sound so serious. All the MAS letter, dia keluarkan semua macam betul, tapi semua forged. It's a very big thing. Signatures were forged, all kind of stuff. So even lawyer letters, even there is a lawyer. That's I said, awareness I'm creating here, be careful, even with lawyers, honestly. There are these people who can do this for many years. They have strong backup. This person have an ex-minister also. And a senior counsel. I met that senior counsel. Senior counsel. I met him in person. And okay, I have to say this lawyer, IRB law, Mr. Byros, also got sent. He came to help me when I was bombarded with all these legal cases. People asking me like 12,000, 20,000. No, I've got no money. He took only 3,000 from me. Until today, satu simple he never, and he managed, his team he managed to clear me. That's when they called the senior counsel, because he claimed he wants to do resettlement for that company, the cheaters. He came and he tried to pull strings and throw his weight around, but IRB lawyer is very stable. You came, this is what you want to do, you cannot do, please leave. They really asked him. He was very, very, very upset. I know. But even the letter was not even signed by him. So he allowed them to use his company letterhead and everything.
Wow.
So it's something which we as small business owners, especially without much experience in all this corporate world, it's very, very important to find reliable and, don't follow blindly lah. That's one advice I have. Don't follow blindly. Don't be too greedy, too rush. Slow down. One thing, slow down. Because when the moment we try to rush and take things in our hands, that's always the reason why Allah delays certain things. That's what I learned the hard way. Every delay, there's a reason. So now, sometimes when I send quotations, I don't get the job. I will say Alhamdulillah. They said, say it 3 times, because he's preventing you from something maybe more difficult,
We don't know.
We don't know, yeah. So I realized that every delays, there's a very big reason behind it, which we wouldn't know. So we just trust him. He will show you when the time is right.
Yeah. In time,
Yep.
Inshallah. Would you consider that to be the main lesson that you
Definitely. Yes. And really trusting Allah is the best thing you can do in every decision we make.
If you could turn back time, go back to that one point where something was going to happen or what would you have done differently?
I would have seriously not rush. I would have put my ibadah first and then the business second. Previously, business first, ibadah second.
Okay.
I will rush through my work, go for the meeting, start sembahyang and everything, just balik dan kadap marathon, that kind of thing. which was a very big mistake. Had I put my ibadah first, maybe I would have been able to think calmly. Because when we solat that time, that's when you sit down and think, right? But I mean, despite whatever happened during that period where I was made to wait until sampai 2 pagi, 3 pagi meeting dorang gila. So I will end up at Arab Street a lot, and that's the time where I didn't realize that I'm spending so much time in the mosque, which I've never done in my life. Solat Zohor, Solat Asar, Maghrib sampai ke Isya, I'll be doing in the mosque. That's because they do this waiting game. Actually, what I learned now is that all these are the tricks of scammers. They will make you wait, and then by the time they meet, they pressure you. They go, oh, we need to do blah, blah. So you don't have much time to think because you're so exhausted waiting initially. So by the time you meet up with them, they tell you this is, oh, okay. Then you just, so apparently that's the modus operandi they have. When I speak to other victims,
Same thing.
same storyline.
Wow. Oh, that's a big learning point for us actually.
I really hope nobody else, not even my enemy, please. I really don't want anybody else to go through this because, like for me, I guess Allah is always there. During that period when me and my husband has been following me when I have to meet them until late, and he's always there, and he's also working the next morning. You see, Allah protected and take care of my 3 children. Alhamdulillah, during that I have 3 daughters. That period, one is O levels, and then I've supposed to pay for her university and everything. Only God knows how we had the money to eventually pay. Alhamdulillah, one is graduating soon. They decide to be closer to Allah on their own. I don't take credit for that. They kata Quran, they asked to wear hijabs and everything, which is,
Inshallah.
I cannot take credit for that. It's only Allah and them. So you trust Allah, He will take care of everything else for you. Then inshallah.
So if I can just recap, I think we look after our relationship with Allah Ta'ala.
Yes.
I think that should be the priority first lah before we kerjakan, we
Dunia.
run after dunia.
True.
Right. Oh, there's a lot to reflect from what you shared. And I think the point that you mentioned about being scammed and everything, sometimes these scammers are very, very slick. They're so slick. They are so good at it because they show the best side of them.
Yeah,
That
and they use religion.
Okay.
Hadith, ayat Quran, macam-macam keluar.
Wow.
So for somebody who has not much knowledge, obviously I get super impressed. Then I realize it's sampai phobia kali.
Anyway, I doakan for you lah. InsyaAllah, mudah-mudahan all these things can be settled nicely. InsyaAllah.
InsyaAllah.
May your rezeki will always be there for you. In whatever way yang kita tak imagine pun, Allah tak ada take care lah. InsyaAllah.
InsyaAllah.
So if you're a business owner and you're watching the podcast, if you feel at any point in time that you need someone to just go through with you what's happening in your business, see what needs to be improved, give you some pointers, or at the same time maybe plan your next 3 years ahead of you, do feel free to contact me, right, and book a session with me. Inshallah, I'll see you. I want to ask you a little bit about some advice from you after all that you have been through and everything. I'm sure you have a lot of entrepreneur friends.
Yeah.
And you also see a lot of people maybe for the first time in networking events and everything. And sometimes you notice there are some entrepreneurs, business owners and all that, where you look at them, wow, this guy or this lady seems very, very successful. You can tell from how they behave or how they portray themselves. And then some of them are just very chill, very relaxed. What do you think separates the two of them?
Okay, first thing for me personally, I don't judge from what I see anymore after whatever I went through. Some people can sound and look very successful, but behind story is totally different. And some they look very chillax, and they can be. I've seen a lot actually. Pakai pun simple-simple, tak tahu kereta diorang macam wow, And then the things they do, they don't really tell you also. I mean, it's not in public. Whatever good things they do at the back and everything, you only like, oh yeah, this person. So I cannot judge. I really don't want to judge because I really don't know. And even I do have people tell me, oh, don't this person, this is the punya track record, whatever. I don't take it at face value because from what I even experienced, I have my sets of problems, which people don't know. What I'm sharing with you, but people say, "Oh, she owe a lot of people money. She take money, blah blah blah." She do, but what I tried to do, nobody knows. You see, so it goes the same for the rest of the other people. They are still trying. So I do not want to judge. But what I think is very important for our new business owners or the younger ones and all, do not rush into something. Really do not rush. I mean, just a couple of months ago, one young guy called me and said, "Kak, no, I was thinking about some restaurant, this and that." I said, "I'm not in the F&B industry and everything, but from what you're telling me, your current financial situation, your family commitment and everything, I would tell you don't rush into this lah." Sometimes you thought you can do it, and then especially when people tell me, "Oh, should I get investors to?" I had a phobia that investor for me. I'll work within my budget, my means, until you are really at a certain level where you can talk about investors. Till then, even until now, there are people tell me, "Oh, Farzana, your business is like this." No, actually, I have funds, this and that. I cakap, "Sorry, I tak nak, bukan apa, I takut." That's why I just afraid I couldn't, repay you back or anything. It's a phobia lah. So, like one of our very long-term entrepreneur ever said, she believes never try not to do business with utang.
Hmm.
Because especially in our world now, utang semua ada interest.
Betul.
So, all this riba and everything. So, as much as possible, try not to do with interest. So that is one thing I'm holding on as strongly as I can.
Understand. Can you share with us your mindset about money and growth? Like, has it changed over time, like last time and now?
Yes, definitely. I used to actually think that somebody with lots of money, rich and whatever, that means they're successful, they're happy, there's their growth. But after seeing so many people, meeting a lot of people along the way and whatever, everything that's happened, I realized that growth is actually you. Your you as your own, your spiritual self, your family, then your financials, a business. So for me, I think it's the other way around. I put myself, the religion of me and my religious, their family, how I bring my family, how my children and everything, and then you look at the punya business. You can be, running multi-million companies and that, but it's, if your agama, family tu kacau-kacau pun, to me, I don't see it as being successful.
Is it along the lines of some people say, you look after your deen, your religion, inshallah, money will come after that.
Betul.
Okay.
It's true. When you look after your religion, what I see is that for myself, I jaga my religion, Allah jaga my family. And then with that, the rezeki will open. It will open at the right time. One thing I have to say that the doors will open. Like currently, I've been working with this Bruneian company. Dah setahun lebih. Actually, we know each other for quite a while. But the way the Bruneian style of business, one thing I like, I can say, is that when they want to do something, nak barakah. That's the key of the thing. Where the money come from, everything all has to be barakah. And they think and really think. So some people say, lambat lah. Cakap, ya memang lambat. But they ensure whatever they do is right by the religion first. And then by the laws and everything. So it's taking time, I know, but I can see it's progressing. So I'm happy with that, Alhamdulillah. So for me, I would love to stay on that pace. I tak nak kelang kabut lagi.
I see. Okay. Right, cool, inshallah. Maybe last question for you. Your advice a little bit of just now I think you mentioned for new business owners, don't rush, right? Jangan, I think your point is jangan bidang terjun apa?
Betul, bidang terjun, correct.
So don't go and jump into it
Yeah.
so fast. Then any other advice that you can give, especially like contextually speaking, in terms of time. Long ago, business was a different.
Yes,
It was a very different environment.
correct.
Now business environment is also very very much different. Maybe you can advise a little bit those who are going to start out.
Yeah. I mean, technically, what I see now, when those times when you run a business in your country, in Singapore, your competitors are just locals, you see. So it's still something you can work along. But now, whatever business you do, right, the world is getting smaller. People from other countries, they come with so much money. Sometimes they can't do the job, but they got the money. They'll just throw and cut the pricing and everything.
Yeah.
So it's
Just to earn the market
just
share.
to earn the market share, yeah. So then kita ni macam kita pun ingat, oh, we also want, so we started cutting. So what's the point? In the end,
Yeah. Kill yourself.
you die, you don't have the extra funds. These people, they don't mind dying. They have that money lying down. So to me, I feel that you have to grow according to what you have. Jangan just because this person is doing this, giving this price, you also want to rush and do it. I think now the world is not like that anymore. You have to be more realistic.
Okay. I think this what you mentioned resonates with me as well. Even in my industry, right? You know, okay lah. Maybe don't talk about my industry lah. We talk about you look at like Grab. You look at platform operators,
Yeah.
right? When they come into the market for the first time, right? They come with a lot of money,
Yes.
right? So they grab the market first. They don't mind losing for first 2-3 years. They lose money, it's
Yeah.
fine. After that, we already hooked already onto their services. There's no way you're gonna stop.
Correct.
Correct or not?
Correct.
After that, they want to increase price. They want to do all sides
You
of
dah tak boleh buat
marketing.
apa-apa.
You can't do anything. You just continue only.
Correct.
So in the same way, but we are small business owners.
Yes, we
We
cannot
can't
follow.
compete or do what they do, right? So I think in we have to think about sustainability lah.
Yes, correct.
That's I think the message that I get from you lah.
Right. For me, your quality, whatever product you provide, like for me, even though just general products, food and everything, but I ensure quality, punctuality, and my service. These three is my unique selling point lah. No, like because like I said, we do halal, and then most Malaysian relationships, they need certain products. And that's one of the reason why I'm staying in JB. Easier access for me to get all these products. So pukul berapa pun I will pack everything, and that's the kind of thing how I can hold my customers. Apart from that, it's beyond me.
Nice. Lastly, what does success mean to you now?
I think like what I said earlier, success to me is when I have a peace of mind, debt free. 70% of my time I can give to my dean, then grow my business.
Okay.
That's what it is for me now.
Awesome.
Too old to go into all this stress anymore. Dah tak larat dah.
True. Okay. This last part, I think I want to ask you for a message lah. Okay. This message is from you. And if you could maybe look into the camera directly, hopefully, is for you to actually share the message to someone of your choice, right? Who has contributed in a very significant way in your business journey. It can be your family members, it can be anyone.
The camera.
Yeah, to the camera. But then you see the person's name, okay, like for example, okay, hi this person, actually I don't know whether I got tell you before, but you helped me a lot. Then how the kind of thing, this is something like sometimes along the way, we tend to keep these things inside. We sometimes
I
we
want
don't
to
see.
mention him susah sikit lah. Because some of them really, I mean actually a few of those who really helped me, they do not want
Okay.
any credit. Don't want to sebut nama. So I think I'd rather not mention names. But so the camera isn't working.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. So what I want to say is that to those people who are not related to me by blood, my family is there supporting me obviously, but those who are not related to me by blood, friends, business acquaintance and all, you guys have really bear with me so much, taught me a lot of things spiritually, and given me the courage to remain sabar and really teach me to understand the meaning of tawakul. And I guess that is what that has actually, alhamdulillah, brought me to where I am now. Still not out of the woods, but alhamdulillah, surviving and not as stressed out like I was a couple of years ago.
a message to say Azim or any of your daughters or your mom,
Yeah.
you choose lah, so, any of them yang you nak say something to.
I think I have to say this to my husband lah. When even when the first time I knew him, and when he decided to get married, he went through all odds. He went against everyone to give me a new life. Throughout our journey is 20 over years now, even after whatever happened to me in the business, he's always supporting whatever business, whatever job I want to do. Never once he put me down or leave me in the lurch, even till today. So for that, thankful to Allah for putting him in my life. It changes a lot, and for all the guidance he has shown me. In fact, when it comes to Salat and everything, never judgmental and all. Thank you.
Alright, alhamdulillah. So guys, for those of you who are like me, really apa, I would say whatever story that Madam Farzana has shared today, I think it's affected me. And I learned quite a bit from what she shared, especially about not rushing through things and being careful of who we deal with, and also being very aware of the people who are around us who are helping us, in one way or another. And I think it reminds me also that behind every successful business is a story told through numbers.
Yep.
And with that, thank you very much, Madam Farzana.
Most welcome. Thank you for having me here. It's fun.
Right, so